Hey guys, welcome back again. Dave's Dimension. Welcome back again for another video. Welcome back to the channel where chaos and insanity will always reign supreme. So we're back again for another unbox. This time around, it's another tech unbox, trying to improve the channel as much as we possibly can. Now, recently you might have seen, obviously, the new layout, new background. We just upgraded to a Blue Yeti. And, well, as you can see, this stand isn't always the greatest. It's not the most reliable. It can, one little tap, and it's kind of a little janky. It's a little unstable. Let me show you guys what I mean by that. So this is actually a toner mic stand. This just slides right out. So it's just a pipe that slides into a slot. It's a little janky, as you can kind of see. One slight tap and the whole thing goes spinning around. It's not the greatest thing, guys. Obviously, I have my mic like this, usually parallel like this, and I usually have a few inches backwards. But it's not the most stable. I mean, these have really small coil springs, if you can notice here. Really small springs on here. They're not the most stable. Plus, I have these little thumb screws right here, for example. They're not the greatest. They don't always stay in place. Because on some of my previous setups, I actually had to wrap the wire around the arm itself. What do I mean by that? Let me show you guys. Let's go back to the main view. Now, you can see how this arm is, right? I'm going to hold it right up. I would actually have to wrap my wire for my microphone around here to kind of hold it in place, or try to use some kind of Velcro strip. One little move, and this would slide right out. It doesn't really hold into place that well. So, well, I got myself a new one. Not only did I get a new arm, but I got an arm that I know is going to work with the Blue Yeti, right? And also a nice little piece to stabilize it with. So let's break it out, guys. What do you say? And yes, I did order this on Amazon, and I am going to have links in the video description below for both pieces that I have in this package here. Let's go to dual view so you guys can see everything that is happening as it happens. As you guys can tell, I did not even open this up yet to make sure everything was in one piece. There we go. One of the good things about this new headset is, well, I have the mic right here. So we got a couple things here. This is the shock mount that's specifically designed for the Yeti. It's compatible with it. Actually, it's compatible with a lot of the Blue microphone equipment, such as the, let's throw this down on the ground. It's compatible with the Snowball. It's compatible with the Yeti X. So just about everything. Now, this is by a company called Ewonlife. You know, it's a generic name brand. I mean, I don't necessarily feel I have, $100 or $200 to spend on the arm itself. I just don't, guys. So now I checked the reviews. They seem to be pretty comparable, pretty nice. It doesn't rely on the thumb screws like we do on here, down here, and up here. It doesn't seem that it's going to be loose. It does have a similar mount, but there's supposed to be an additional thumb screw to kind of hold this in place to hopefully prevent it from spinning around like crazy. So there is that. So we're going to set this down. I'm going to show you guys what this mount actually looks like, the one I've been working with. This is what it looks like. Now, it's not bad because you can use this. It can double as a headphone holder, for underneath your table or desk. Okay, but that's pretty much it. It's not a whole much. It's kind of a faint foam that's supposed to protect against scratching the top of your table or, desk, whatever you wind up using. And this was with a toner setup that I got. It wasn't bad. It served a purpose, guys. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. So let's get right on into this, guys. I'm going to open this right up. Now, it does come with a pop filter. I don't anticipate using this, but it's nice that they gave us this one. Now, if this wasn't a YouTube channel If I was doing it for a podcast, I think I might look into actually using this. But obviously, if this is going to be right in front of the microphone, it's going to be within view of the camera, and that might get in the way of the unboxed videos and the other videos we'll be doing. Now, am I going to toss this out? No, I'm going to hold on to this, at least for now. So we'll see what happens, guys. So we're going to toss this over to the side now. This is meant, again, like a thumb screw, basically, that it would just clamp onto the arm. Give you guys a nice little look right there. Okay. That this is meant to clamp onto the arm. Now, this in itself feels a little loose. So there could be some potential issues. I mean, let's see how well. I mean, it screws right on there. So I could probably rotate it the other way to keep it on a little tight. But I would almost even be tempted to hit it with a little bit of hot glue on the inside or on the thread so that it sticks in there nice and tight and we won't have much of a movement on here, but we'll see what happens. I'm not going to use this right now. Now, those people who don't want to use a pop filter, you can get what's called a mic sock. Basically, it's that foam part that you see on top of a microphone. They do have them for the Blue Yetis. So there is that. So let's get right on into this. First thing we have is we have that mount that I mentioned. And guess what? This is light. Whereas that was metal. This is a plastic. We have a little bit of a rubber here. So that would be used for right there. And of course, that thumb screw I mentioned. So we can tighten it once we get the pole right into there. But it's nice and lightweight. I actually don't mind that right now. Obviously, there could be some concerns, but we'll see what happens after we get everything else out. Now, very similar to the toner stand I had, this one feels a little bit more, I don't want to say a powder coat, but slightly more heavy duty. Now, obviously, the way that this is going to go is this will actually, obviously, just like most, this will unscrew downwards, but then this is supposed to slot right into here. And I think what actually holds this in place is, well, you have this on top, you slide this through, and then you screw it upwards so it's on there nice and secure. Get that down, get that down, get that down. Not yet. There we go. We should be good right there. Now, is this going to be my final placement for it? No. But for our purposes, for this video, it's perfect. I'm holding this, and it is not going anywhere. You guys can see all the shaking because the vibrations are going up through the table, up to my mounts. So you can see that. So it's nice and sturdy right there. Now, you do get a little bit of instruction. Yeah, I guessed everything right there. Who needs instructions, right? Now, they do give you some adapters. So if you have different type of microphones, if you're not using a Blue Yeti, maybe using standard microphone or an XLR that has different fitting sizes, they give you some adapters here, guys. So that's pretty cool. Also, guess what else? They give us some Velcro. So we want to do some cable management. They gave us one. Let's see, 1, 2, let me see. So we got 1 or 2 there. Oh yeah, they gave us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8 straps here. So if you got a lot of long wires or multiple wires you want to cable manage, it's all right there, guys. Now for the fun part. Let's pull this out. And here is our new arm. As you notice, there are no screws, there are no adapters that we have to play around with. This will slot right in. It does have a little peg, so obviously it's going to lock into place. So you can thumb screw that a little bit more. And it's not, it does move, but not much. So it's a nice guide to it. Now, Obviously I'm going to push this back a little further once I do have the microphone on there. Let's get the Blue Yeti off of the old one. So far, I'm liking this setup much better. And it seems like the arm, let's take a look at the arm. It's pretty close as far as length and size. This one might come out a little bit further. The new one looks like it comes out a little bit longer. Now, before I put the new microphone on, let's take a look at the other piece we got in. The other piece is what's called a shock mount. What is a shock mount? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a mount that is actually supposed to protect against shocking. You know, your table moves. Maybe you bump your table, you bump your desk, you see my camera's kind of moving, right? See? Because what you guys may not see is I actually have a secondary camera. I have my cell phone mounted right on here. Excuse the mess. But I have my cell phone mounted right here as the overhead camera. So that's what I've been using, guys. So let's break this out. Now this is supposed to stabilize the microphone. Here we go. Do we get any instructions with this? Pretty much no. Now I imagine here this will screw out from the what I believe to be the bottom. I'm going to pause you guys for a second. This may take a few moments for me to unscrew it. Okay, apparently I was wrong. This doesn't unscrew out, but what it does is screws in to the Yeti. This thumb screw, or this round screw right here, actually screws into the top of the Yeti. So there we go. Now, I actually have to rotate this around because those that have not used the Yeti before, you always want the Yeti insignia to face towards your mouth so that obviously it's going to catch all the sound from you. Now, here's the fun part. Let's get this down there so you guys can see. This, you get this thread right here. This, we're going to have to do some twisting around so we can thread this in. Obviously, we got to do this a couple hundred times. I know it's the fun part, right, guys? It's exactly what you tuned into this channel for. To watch me do this, right? Now, see how well we can get that in there. So as of right now, you guys can see my camera view right now from the main camera. You don't see the microphone. Now, I could keep it like this, but I'm most likely going to slide this down a little bit further. Now, I think if you do podcasting, this is going to be a really good setup for you. Even if you don't do podcasting, okay? There's several different things. If you guys wanted to, you could pretty much rotate this around. You could have it like this. If I wanted, there's a lot of different setups you can do. You can have this further up, and I have the microphone. Let's bring this around. So I can have my microphone like that. I can have it straight like this, which is what my plan was going to be, to have something like this. Maybe something like that. I still have to play around with the arm because it does have a little... Obviously, the Blue Yeti has a lot of weight to it, guys. You guys can see that. But I can have it like this. You guys wouldn't exactly see that because normally if I have this set up correctly, it's facing the desk. You won't really see the microphone. And I could just talk on the microphone. You guys won't even see it. Or I can even rotate it so that my voice is right here. Again, you're not going to see it. I still have plenty of room because the reason why I wanted an arm, I want to have room. There's a lot of times I'll join a few other YouTubers that might do some building streams, whether it's Lego or Gundam. That way my arms can move around without having the old mic stand. I used to have the old mic stand like this, and might get in the way of if I'm trying to do something or in my vision of view. So now we don't have that problem. Also, my headset, I can take my headset and I could put a headset right underneath the hook right here. Everything's all in one place just to go ahead and grab. So all in all, this is pretty good. I mean, yes, I am going to have to tweak a little bit. I got to readjust it. I got to find a sweet spot, as it were. Now, in case you're wondering what makes this a shock mount, well, we have these little bungees wrapped and looped all around. So if there's movement, this keeps, usually when you have a mic stand, those vibrations are going to hit the mic stand, go up, and then hit the microphone itself. Well, we have this little shock mount. These little bungees right here, this little bungee cords that we have looped around, and then we had this plastic loop right here. It basically absorbs all those vibrations, so it won't transition as much through the microphone. That's what a shock mount pretty much does. Now, I'm no expert, mind you, but there we go. Fix that a little bit more. And we're ready to go. Now, like I said, I'm going to have links to both the shock mount and the arm in the description below. I got these at a relatively low price on Amazon, and being an Amazon Prime customer, I got it within about 2 to 3 days. Not bad, pretty awesome. So there we are, guys. Very quick unbox. Hope you liked it. Tell me what you think of these. Do you think a shock mount and a mic arm are necessary nowadays, or do you think maybe I should just stick with my headset? I want to do both, because sometimes I want to take my microphone out and just rely on sound here for feedback, because also, if you use Blue Yeti, there are a few little caveats, a few little give and takes with this. What do I mean by that? Whenever I plug my Blue Yeti into my computer, I can't hear, my sound for the computer cuts out. So I have to have my headphones then plugged directly into my Blue Yeti for monitoring when I'm recording. If I'm not recording and I'm not using a microphone, I'm going to disconnect the mic and just rely on my desktop speakers, or again with the headset. So it's kind of a little weird thing, unless there's a way around it. I got to go through all the settings. But once I connect my wire here, I'm going to have it wrapped around, and I can use these nice little fun little bungees that they gave us, these little Velcro strips for cable management. And they give you, like I said, about 8 of these guys. There's 3. There's 4. There's 5. There's 6. There's 7. And there's 8. So they gave you 8 of these Velcro straps, the shock mounts in the arm. Now, the shock mount was separate. I'm going to have a link for that separate shock mount right there. Now, you did notice, the Yeti's got some weight to it. So I'm going to have to readjust this, probably with a pair of pliers or some vice grips, so that we don't really have that movement. But I guess a little movement's not too bad. As long as it's not like a slight tip and then the whole thing collapses down, we're pretty much good. But there we are, guys. It does have movement, but it glides. It's not loose, Just a little bit of movement, a little bit. That works perfectly for me, guys. So there we are. Now, I do plan on doing an update possibly in a month or 2 from now to see how well has this worked out. Was it better or worse than the previous one I have? And are there maybe some better ones out there? I know that there's a lot of different ones out there that probably maybe are a little bit more firm, maybe a little bit more better. But if you're on a budget like me, guys, you don't have $100, $200 to drop just on an arm alone. I mean, this microphone I got for about $54 after tax and shipping on eBay, when it goes for usually between $99 and $110 online. Okay, so doing a little bit of cable management. We have that completed here on the arm. Excuse the mess in the background, guys. But if you guys see, I actually have both the earphone jack and the mic jack wired and cable managed all the way across the arm. Let's see if I can pull out the camera a little bit more. You can see it goes directly down here. Everything's nice and neat and organized. sorry about the camera movement. I gotta reposition it. But as you guys can see, there's no loose wires hanging around here. This looks more streamlined. I have the wiring going directly underneath. I have the wiring going directly underneath the desk itself. So we have no wires hanging all over the desk. Better for when we do our unboxes and for when we do our videos and of course our live streams. So it's definitely working out very nicely. At the shock mount, really like this. I mean, it kind of gives it a little bit more professional look, which is always fun. But it's not about professional looks because no one's really going to be seeing it. And as you can see in this frame, you can't even see the microphone. But for me, it means less wires, less clutter on the desk, which is better for making the videos and keep the channel moving forward. That's what it's about. And a fairly simple process. Now, unfortunately, the arm did not come, well, it came with very limited directions. It doesn't give you a walkthrough on how to do any of the management. Now, there are some cavities towards the bottom of the arm where it fixes into the actual desk or table mount. And there are some cavities up towards the top here. Let me see if I can bring you back over here. You can kind of see there's a cavity right there, and that's I kind of have the wires going underneath here. We got our little cable management strap right here, another one here, and then I have it feeding across. And then there's a little cavity and groove right here where the cable management goes right over. And it's pretty straightforward and simple. Well, it is after you go through it a couple times and try and figure it out, guys. So there we are. I really like this setup, and this is nice and stable. I'm actually using the Yeti mic right now for the sound here. That's why you don't see my headset on. I actually had to re-record this after we recorded the entire video. There was no sound in the middle section where I recorded going over this. So we're recording it a second time, guys. Okay? So, for those of us who, we do this just for fun. This is our hobby. This is something we love to do. I mean, by no means do I ever anticipate making money off of this channel. It's about me having some fun with you guys, sharing my thoughts, my opinions, my concerns, my viewpoints on all these great unboxes I do, like this Black Series Mandalorian figure, this heavy infantry Mandalorian that's going to be unboxed very soon, and a whole host of others. That's what it's about, guys. Sharing my thoughts, my opinions on some of this stuff, and sharing possibly some good deals and some solutions your way. So there we are, guys. Just a quick unbox. I hope you liked it. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Always open to that. And as always, guys, as you can see right above me are all my socials. So if you want to hit us up, there's the YouTube channel, YouTube/C/Dave's Dimension. We have our Twitter, which is at Dimension Daves, and we have Instagram at Daves_Dimension. And of course, if you ever want to contribute to the channel, if you want to toss a few bucks our way to help pick up a new item, or maybe there's something you think would be really awesome, and you want to donate to the channel, the Cash App is right there, $Dave's Dimension through the Cash App. So you don't have to, but it's greatly appreciated if you do feel like donating towards the channel. And until next time, guys, this is Dave from Dave's Dimension saying keep on busting. And guess what, guys? You know what I'm going to say. I will always catch you on the flip side. Take care.